Hey, good morning, everybody. Sarasota Tim. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here and you're clicked on this video about Social Security, I welcome you. And there's a whole playlist I have. In fact, all of them aren't in my playlist. I'll add them later today. There are multiple Social Security videos that have gained very much popularity on YouTube regarding the way I present it about collecting your Social Security at age 62. While there's plenty of pushback from, not as many as agree with it, but those that do disagree with it do push back with their own ideas and their own analogies as to why it's better to wait for 30% more money on your Social Security. So let's hear today, let's again rehash the numbers and once again prove what the math actually is, rather than talking about how much better it is to keep working in your life and to keep spending your life at a prison job. That's what I call them. It's just a figure of speech. I have a sense of humor, and I call all jobs a prison job. Whether you like it or not, you have to go there. Who would want to go to work if they didn't have to? If you had all the finances in the world that would make you comfortable and all your bills were paid, would you still want to go to work? Yes, I know there are some people, and I even agree a little bit, that it's healthy to be around people and doing something for self-esteem and to be productive. It keeps you young, keeps you healthy, but not 40, 50 hours a week, not a laborious job, and not one where people have a lot of drama and they're trying to get every ounce of work out of you throughout the day. But if you want to work for yourself, you're an entrepreneur, you enjoy doing something, it gives you a satisfaction of something you've done for somebody, and meanwhile you put some bucks in your pocket, that I completely agree, and that's what I do. But about Social Security, folks, there's a time in your life that a lot of people don't even realize you can collect it at 62. Some people don't even know this. They think that they have to wait till they are full retirement age, or 67 years old, or 66 years old, or even 70 years old, before they can stop working their prison job and getting a free check. Another one of my sayings, it's money that you paid in. It's based on your best 35 earning years. But that is your money. And why wouldn't you want to get your money back the day you can? It's like moving out of an apartment that you had a lease on and you had a deposit, and you said, hold on to it for another 5 years and then give it back to me. I don't need it. I don't need it right now. You have it. No, you get your money. And here's why. Because you're going to get a lot more money by collecting your Social Security from day one. The Social Security Administration would love for you to say, no, you keep it, and maybe you'll never have to give it to me because maybe I'll die, or I'll die a lot sooner if I do take it later, and you won't have to pay it to me as many years. So you say, how am I going to get more money if I collect it from day one? Please show me. Okay, I will. Now, I've got the numbers right here again, but I wanted to make a very important point that the numbers I'm going to give you, people talk about how they're getting all this much more money if they wait till their full retirement age. And it's like 1,000 or whatever, a lot of money difference. And folks, let me tell you, it's 30%. It's etched in stone. It's crystallized. There is no magical number you get more. It's exactly 30% from the day you can take it at 62 until full retirement age. It's 30%. So I get $1,700, right? If you were to multiply $2,450 times 70%, which is 30% less, then you would get $1,700. And that's how I got what I've got, because it's 30% less than, what I would get at 66 years old in 8 months, my full retirement age. But full retirement age is basically 67 now if you're born after 1960. So I made the math today very simple. I'm getting simpler with these videos and explaining. So if you waited until full retirement age and got to 2,450, which is 30% more than what I get, times 12 months, you would get $29,400 a year. $29,400 a year times 13 years. What's 13 years? Well, you're starting at 67. 13 years later, you're going to be 80. All right, you're way past the average age of a male of 73 years old. So we're going to just take it to the year, to the age of 80 years old. That would be 13 years that you get to enjoy collecting a Social Security check that's 30% more, which is from 1,700. That would be 300 more. It'd be 2,000. That's $750. I used to proclaim that it was $500 more, but whatever the math is today with the cost of living adjustment, 30% is $2,450. All right. So this number would go up every year by a little bit because we get a cost of living adjustment every year. But let's say we just crystallize it to keep this simple, and you never get another penny. You either get the $1,700 like I do at 62, or you get the $2,450 at 67. Now, you only get to enjoy, if you live to 80, 13 years. So in 13 years, collecting $29,400 a year, which is what $2,450 a month is, over 13 years, you would collect $382,200. A lot of money. $382,200 in 13 years. I, on the other hand, that started at 62 times 12 is $20,400 a year. Quite a bit different. $9,000 to be exact. So $20,400 times 18 years, because I'm going to live to be 80 also, but I collect for 18 years, not 13 years. So in 18 years, I end up getting $367,200. And you got $382,200. So if you subtract 367.2 from 382.2, you get a difference of 15 grand over that time. Let me see. Hang on. How did I figure that? You get $15,000 over the 13 years. No. Yes. You're going to collect for 13 years. So in 13 years, you end up getting 15 grand more by waiting 5 years later. That works out to $833.33 more a year, or $69 more a month. So you wait 5 years and you leave $102,000, which is what $1,700 a month is, times 5 years. You let that just lay on the table. You don't even ever collect it. And you get this extra money at full retirement age of $2,450. At the end of the deal, we both die at 80 years old, and you ended up getting $15,000 more money, or a whopping $69 more a month. But I took it a step further today, and I said, let's back it down to 75. That's 2 years past the average age. So the person that gets $2,450 a month, which is $29,400 a year, and it never goes up, which we know it will, $29,400 a year to 75 years old, you'd get $235,200. I get $1,700 a month, or $20,400 a year. I die at 75 also. I ended up collecting $265,200 more. You get $235,200, I get $265,200. So you see, all the way to 75 years old, you're way behind. You're $40,000, $30,000, excuse me. $30,000 you're still trailing after waiting for 5 years, leaving 100 grand on the table. You collect for from 67 to 75, 8 years. You've been getting it 8 years. You're now old, 75 like me, and you're still 30 grand behind me because I started collecting the few $100 less at 62. How can you deny it? 30,000. And then at 80 years old, you only surpass and get 15,000 more. So you'd have to live like to 100 to really make any big difference. But you still don't collect at 62. You still wait until you're 67. You still get like much older, like a kid from 12 years old to 17 years old. You grow and you age a heck of a lot between 62 and 67. So what are you going to do with this extra money? You may not want to check off a few of the boxes that you have on your bucket list. You may not have an opportunity. You may have contracted some diseases. You may have hips, joint problems, different things, your attitude, your mind, all of these things. Whereas if you just started collecting at 62, get 30 grand more all the way up to your 75 than someone that waits till full retirement age, and you started doing all the things you wanted to do, doing a little side hustle when you're 62 so you can supplement that money, because no one can live on that. No one can live on $24.50 a month, and no one can live on $1,700. It's not even that big of a difference to make. Sure, it helps, but look, you got to make equal to that amount, or $1,700 equal, for the first few years until the earnings limit is gone, just to supplement your income to live a decent life. And especially if you have no debt, you can live very good, even in today's inflationary times. The secret is no debt. And to make another $24.50 a month, or to make another $1,700 a month, forget the $24.50, because that's foolish to wait. Foolish. $1,700 a month. To make $1,700, folks, how hard do you think that is every month? How many hours do you think you have to put in to make $1,700? Especially if you're a go-getter or an entrepreneur and you work for yourself, where you can make whatever you charge for a certain service. And plenty of people are doing it. But let's say you're just a simple person, you don't have any skills, you just want to go get a job at Target and make your part-time work equal $1,700 a month. I haven't done the math, but it doesn't take very many hours, and you're sitting in there in the air conditioning. So now you've got 1,700 times 2, but you're not working 40 or 50 hours a week. You have all this extra time off to do and live your life. Because all your life when you were young, you were just going to school and growing up with mommy and daddy. And then you spent 30 or 40 years stressing out, working a prison job, paying for all the assets that you've accumulated, raising children, paying for automobiles and homes and all this stuff, and getting a week's vacation maybe once a year, maybe 2 weeks, year after year for decades. Then you finally get past your prime of your life, of more than half of your life. At 50 years old, you don't have another 50. How many people live to be 100? Not many. So at 40 years old, you're already past your prime. Now you got to wait 22 more years, over 2 decades, just to start getting your Social Security. And you want to make it wait another 5 years? I say no. So at 62 years old, you're already 22 years past your half of your life. So if you can get it at 62, like I said in other videos, it should be 55 that we should still be able to get our Social Security, and there shouldn't be any earnings cap limit, because they would get income taxes. But I mean, that's another story. I digress. So at 62, folks, you get more money all the way up to you're 75 years old. It's not until that last 5 years until you're 80. And what are you doing? What quality of life are you having at 80? A lot of people, when they leave this world, they take 5, 6, 8 years to go. They have some ailment that it's just a slow process. Others get hit by a bus and they're out of here. Or some have a heart attack. It's different ways you can leave this world, folks. But if you get to be older and you just get something that's just going to keep you tied to a chair, and you can't go out and travel and do what you want to do, play golf, and live a quality of life that you gave 5 years, that's a good amount of life that you're going to give away by keeping that prison job, versus taking a job, working for yourself, doing what you want to do, picking the hours, weekends, or just Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, doing what you want to do, living your life. It's more important than the money. Quit working at 62, get your Social Security, get more money, and crush it.